Hello, I'm Dr. David Anderson with the Veterinary Medical Center for Large Animals here at the University of Tennessee. And today I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Brian Whitlock. Dr. Whitlock is board certified with the American College of Veterinary Genealogists, and that means he's an expert in reproductive diseases of cattle. And today we want to talk a little bit about trich. You know, when we're working with cattle and breeding animals, we hear this term trich and that it's a big concern. What's trich?
So the disease is, we commonly refer to it as a trich, but it's a Trichomonas fetus. It's caused by a motile protozoa that bulls can carry on their penises without any symptoms, no clinical signs at all. And the bulls can spread it from cow to cow in your herd, and it causes infertility, abortions, and the like.
So is it the cow contaminating the bull or the bull contaminating the cow?
It can work both ways, Dr.
Okay.
Anderson. The cow, often the clinical sign people notice is at pregnancy diagnosis, the cow will be found open or found to have pyometra, post-breeding pyometra, or found to be open. The other thing that farmers will often notice is a scattered calf crop, because most of the calves are of the latter part of the calving season, so the cows are pregnant more shortbred whenever pregnancy diagnosis is performed.
So theoretically, those cows are dropping calves, cycling back, and getting rebred late in the season.
That's correct.
Okay. And so how is this infection maintained in the herd? What's the reservoir for contamination?
The bull is likely the most important, carrying it from cow to cow. There's different theories on how that happens, whether the organism is retained in the folds of his prepuce, which is part of his reproductive tract. That's the majority, and from bulls going from one farm to the next. Cows, a very few of them, but some cows can carry from one breeding season and one calving season to the next. But most important, the bull acts as the reservoir.
Okay, and so I would recognize that maybe I need to look for trich in my herd because of open cows or a scattered calving season. What test is it that I could do or have my veterinarian do to detect this organism?
Yeah, there are a couple of ways to test for trichomoniasis or trich. One is a preputial scraping with a pipette, and you actually culture the organism. So your veterinarian would collect a sample from the bull, and they would submit that to a parasitology lab, for instance the one we have here at the University of Tennessee, and they would grow it overnight and look for the organism. That's a culture. The other technique is DNA testing, or PCR, and that test, it can also be used. The sample collection is the same mechanism, and really the sensitivity, the ability to detect the organism is very similar.
And so this is an increasing problem around different parts of the United States. We're in Tennessee. Is this a problem for us, something we should be concerned about?
Trich is a hot topic right now. We have not, to my knowledge, diagnosed any Trichomonas fetus in Tennessee, but there are certain state regulations now in place to help prevent trichomoniasis from coming into our state. Many states around us have taken the same stance and same policy because it is becoming more of a problem in the Midwest and Western states, and we're trying to prevent importing of those bulls into our herds. So the state has some requirements of 2 negative DNA tests or 3 negative cultures before those bulls can come in if they come from a known trich herd. But so far, Tennessee does not have any requirements within the state moving bulls.
So we can move bulls around within the state of Tennessee, but if we're crossing state lines, coming in or moving to another state, it's likely that we'd have to have a negative trich established for that bull before he gets moved.
Yeah, my policy is always call the state vet's office before you move an animal to another state. Number one, it needs health papers, and number two, your veterinarian should be able to help you understand what tests are required before that bull is moved to that state.
Okay, and so what's my risk on buying a bull or leasing a bull? Am I likely to bring this into my herd with young stock, or is it adult bulls, older bulls that I have to worry about?
More of an older bull problem, Dr. Anderson. Young bulls are thought not to carry the disease as widely. There's different theories why that occurs, whether that's the result of more redundant folds of tissue in that prepuce part of his penis. Why that happens, we don't truly know, but you're right, it's more older bulls, and it's leasing and moving and renting of bulls as opposed to using virgin bulls, young bulls, in your herd.
Okay, so virgin would refer to any bull that hasn't been used to breed cows.
That's correct.
Okay, all right. And so, Trichomonas sounds like it could be a very costly disease for me. And we can do that testing at the University of Tennessee or other state labs?
Yes, sir. We provide the test here through labs at the University of Tennessee, and also our cord lab, our diagnostic lab in Nashville, run the test as well. So there are many states that are approved to run the test and recognized by the state.
Okay, so very important to work with your veterinarian and the state offices. You know, we're all trying to import better genetics into our herds. We need to make sure we're doing that in a safe manner that protects our breeding program. Here at the University of Tennessee, we're about premium healthcare and premium service. We'd love to work with you and your veterinarian to help solve problems you may be having. Thanks a lot to Dr. Whitlock spending some time with us today talking about trichomonas.